Hi everyone, this is Fanhudi Hotspot Show. If today's your first time watching me, can you please hit the subscription button and also the notification button so you can catch my videos. On this channel, I do everything. In fact, sometimes I speak Twi, sometimes I speak Krobo, which is another language in Africa. And most of the time I'm speaking English. So today the video is going to be done in English. It is a story of a young woman, in fact, a friend of mine, and there are so many people with a similar story. I was actually looking at Facebook and saw a similar story on Facebook, and this time it is a Jamaican lady who met someone in Jamaica. They met online, started talking, hit it off. So this woman decided to go back to Jamaica, and surprise, surprise. Well, guess what? It is happening everywhere. This in the African community is a lot of them. In fact, Canada being a place where everybody wants to visit, a very um, retro lifestyle around here, with the biggest country which has the most diverse people around the world. A lot of Africans has made Canada a home where raising family. We have first generation, second and third, and in some instances, fourth generation. Africans started traveling back in the 60s. In fact, before that, but I've met people here who has been here since 70s, some 60s. So we have a lot of Africans here, and fortunately or unfortunately, most of us, because we outgrown the society in Canada, a lot of people go back home to get married, and because of also cultural differences and that bridge of cultural gap between Canadians as well as our parents wanting us to marry back to Africans so badly, it sometimes draws us back to Africa. So let's get into the story of my friend. My friend is one of the people who also, after trying everything, of course, going back home is the result that most of us find ourselves in, and we are always going to be with Africans. So this lady was introduced by a friend, and of course, in a man's life, there come a time where you have to settle. So she decided to say, okay. She went back home and met this gentleman, and they started it off dating. And out of the dating, of course, my friend lives here. The only place that is attractive enough for everybody, and also to have a lifestyle that many people back in Africa wants to have, or around the whole world, around the world. Many people like to relocate to Canada. So my friend went back and agreed to get married and sponsor this man. The man is a little bit older than her. That didn't really matter because she's also a mature woman with children. The man also had one child, a male child, which was 20 year old. So she sponsored this woman, and eventually the guy received papers. They relocated. Not just him, she also sponsored the son. The son and the father got here on the same day. And to everybody's surprise, later on, but before that, everything was going on well. I mean, the boy also got along with my friends' sons in the beginning, but people has plans. It turned out, guys, that this young man had his own plan. In fact, the father also had his own plan. We all wish to get married one day, settle with the one we loved, and hopefully we all get to be living together happily ever after. find the same things that we are both interested in. Just look at something that we can both achieve in, and also grow as a family and be successful in our endeavors, and any initiative that we can all take as a family. But it doesn't always happen that way. My friend, first of all, the son moved out 4 months after they got to Canada. They arrived in Canada. The boy decided to move out. And then later on, this husband of my friend started to act funny, being quiet, not wanting to do anything. Also started to be annoyed by every little thing my friend would do. Sometimes we'll, just say they're insult, like, every African, you have to learn how to speak to an African man. So if you don't say things the way they are used to, they take it as an insult. Even if you say something is silly, they would think you're telling them they're silly. And the word silly to a grown man is an insult. So these little petty things became a big issue between my friend and this man. But I don't think these little things should come between marriage, or even overlook the struggle and also everything that my friend had to do to get those two individuals, two grown men, to Canada. I don't think anything is warrant. It's not as if someone was killing them, but the only conclusion that we can come to is that this was a plan to get to Canada. It didn't just end there. So this man started accusing this lady of cheating, started accusing her of being with a 20 something, a whole bunch of stories that you can't even add it together. And eventually what happened was this man decided to go back to Ghana without telling this lady. He decided to go back. Right after his son moved out, the whole thing just, I don't know, the plan sort of started surfacing, and he just made up a story to go back to Ghana. Apparently, he didn't just stay in Ghana. He came back to Canada. And as you all know, when you sponsor someone, you are responsible for that person for the next 3 years. It wasn't even a year when this guy moved out. But because the lady, the sponsor, is responsible for the one who had to be sponsored, the guy went to welfare. He went into the system, claimed social assistant. Now this lady is stuck with a debt, a big one for that matter. Okay, no one deserves that. Even if you don't want the marriage, you're not supposed, don't go as far as going and adding debt, because I know for sure it didn't just take $20 or $200 to bring those two gentlemen here. It took over $30,000 to bring both of them here. First of all, my friend didn't just go to Ghana once. She visited Ghana 3 times. 4th one, the guy eventually made it to Canada. What do you think about this story? Do you think we should continue bringing people here, or I'm just being paranoid? Leave your comment and let me know what you think about this story.